Minister, I want to echo what Senator Murphy said, and absolutely, I think your handling of this has been extraordinary and with great dignity and respect and regard for everybody. It is a sobering reminder of algorithms and the human beings that put them in place are susceptible to errors, and I would seriously question that there was no checking mechanism and that the pathway, the communication of the instructions mechanism of the contractor, what oversight and what was going on there. So I echo Senator Byrne's points on that. Minister, I just want to raise an issue with regard to next year's Leaving Certificate. This year's Leaving Certificate, some students who would have been native speakers have not had the opportunity to be part of the calculated grades because they didn't need tutors. They could sit, if they were native Arabic speakers, they could sit the exam and they had no issue with regard to that, but as a result they had no tutor then to objectively verify their results and create their calculated grade. And I'm maybe seeking to respectfully put to you, is there a possibility that for next year that we can put in regional panels of tutors that these students could go to, because there aren't very many secondary school teachers who will teach Arabic, I would venture to say, but that we need to put in a mechanism in place, because by and large of the students that I've been approached, to the schools that have approached me on their behalf, they are from school, they maybe are students that are living in direct provision, they didn't have recourse to the courts, they didn't have those, so we need to be maybe anticipating what next year would be. Very quickly, Minister, I need to address the issue of the SNAs, and I'm aware at the moment that your department has put out for advice to create a system of advice around SNAs and the provisions for them in the schools at the moment. A lot of SNAs have very happy work experience and a work-life experience. However, there are those who don't, and from my past life as an employment barrister, I represented a lot of them. As a consequence, I'm a magnet as a senator for them coming to me with their issues and raising it. And I am aware that there is a potential reference to the Workplace Relations Commission by Forsa on their behalf, because some of them, there's no provisions, they're not put into the plans for the school, they're not, nothing has been created for them, they're obliged to maybe sit in chairs on the corner of the classroom, they can't always share desks with their SEN students because they maybe have families in high-risk categories, and that we really need to address. We need something coming from the department that gives very clear guidelines to the treatment and the work conditions of SNAs in the current circumstances, because in the schools where they are treated as second-class citizens, all that be a very small cohort, but in those schools they need something to point to from the department that will assist their situation. And aligned to that, another issue would be with regard to boards of management, Minister, for these small portions of schools. By and large, the schools have been exceptional, and I appreciate and respect that. However, there are some schools where the Board of Management are merely a rubber stamping mechanism for the principal. And while I appreciate you're not the employer, you're not responsible for boards of management, however, the department could play a role similar to the Director of Corporate Enforcement and the CRO, where directions are issued or booklets are issued with regard to the duty of care of boards of management. Because in circumstances where maybe the discussion of ASD units or SNAs, or where there has been a grievance procedure or a decision of the Workplace Relations Commission, and boards of management don't always know what's going on, or if members and individuals raise the issue, it's politely suggested to them that they maybe step down from the Board of Management if they're creating something that isn't merely a rubber stamp of the principal. And I believe that you have a role, while you're not responsible, that's not your responsibility, however, you have a role as the funder and as the employer of the teachers to create a booklet, a guidance to ensure that boards of management know what their duty of care is and their role and what is expected of them in the same way as the directors of a company would be. I appreciate that. Thank you, Minister.